What if everything you've heard about Charlie Kirk's shooting is wrong? What if the wound we were told was an exit wound, was actually an entry wound? That single detail flips this entire case upside down, and if true, it means the shooter wasn't in front of Charlie at all. They were behind him. Tonight, we're tearing apart the official story piece by piece, and what we've uncovered might be the most explosive twist in this case yet. Charlie Kirk, a polarizing figure, conservative commentator, and founder of Turning Point USA, was addressing a packed crowd at a rally. The room was charged. Supporters cheering, cameras flashing, live streams rolling. Then, in a split second, it all changed. A single shot rang out. Chaos erupted. People screamed, ducked, scrambled for cover. Charlie collapsed, clutching his side. Law enforcement moved fast, rushing him to safety, and within hours the first official statement was out: Charlie had survived. The bullet, they said, had entered from the front and exited through his back. It sounded simple. Too simple. According to police reports and early press briefings, the story was straightforward. Charlie Kirk was targeted from the front. The shooter fired once, striking him in the torso. The bullet exited cleanly through his back, a textbook front-to-back trajectory. Media outlets repeated the same lines: exit wound confirmed, no mystery here, case moving forward. It was tidy. Clean. Convenient. Too convenient. Then came the leaks: unredacted ER notes, high-resolution medical scans, independent forensic reviews quietly published online, and they all pointed in one shocking direction: the wound doesn't look like an exit wound. Experts described it as clean, symmetrical, and contained the hallmarks of an entry wound, not an exit. Forensic reconstructions made the picture even clearer. The bullet's path started low on the right side of Charlie's back, moving slightly upward. Exactly what you'd expect if someone was firing from behind, at a lower angle. And then there's the physical evidence, or rather, the lack of it. No bullet casing was ever found where officials claimed the shooter stood. No marks on the podium. No bullet damage on the stage equipment, but behind the stage. Restricted access. Poor lighting. Missing surveillance footage. The puzzle pieces don't just fail to fit, they start to tell an entirely different story. If Charlie Kirk was shot from behind, who was back there? Why was that area left unguarded at such a high-profile event? And why does the official report ignore the possibility entirely? Was this just a mistake, a rush to judgment by investigators desperate to calm the public? Or was someone shaping the story from the very first press conference? Because if the trajectory is wrong, if the wound was misidentified, then we aren't just talking about sloppy police work. We're talking about a potential cover-up, and the bigger question is, who benefits from keeping the truth hidden? If you're as stunned as I am right now, pause for a second and hit like, because the more people see this, the harder it becomes to bury the truth. And make sure you subscribe right now, because if we don't keep talking about this, the official story will be the only story that survives. We can't let that happen. So what does all of this mean? One possibility is innocent. Investigators simply got it wrong. They were under pressure, the nation was panicking, and they wanted answers fast. But another theory is much darker. What if the shooter wasn't out in the crowd at all? What if they had backstage access, someone who blended in, someone who shouldn't have been there but was? And here's where history starts whispering. Think about the JFK assassination, decades of debate over bullet trajectories and where the shots actually came from. Think about Medgar Evers, where early wound descriptions nearly pinned the blame on the wrong man. In both cases, the official version was released fast, repeated endlessly, and questioned only years later. Could Charlie's case be following the same pattern? The evidence suggests it might. Of course, not everyone agrees with this shot from behind theory. Some trauma surgeons argue that exit wounds can look clean under certain conditions, especially with lower velocity rounds. Others caution that leaked photos and documents might be incomplete, out of context, or even misinterpreted. Skepticism is healthy, and we should welcome it, because if this theory holds up even under scrutiny, it becomes that much harder to dismiss. But this is bigger than just Charlie Kirk. This is about whether we can trust the stories we're told when tragedy strikes. Why were alternate trajectories never addressed publicly? Why was key surveillance footage from behind the stage mysteriously missing? And why does every official statement sound so rehearsed, so controlled? This isn't just one case, it's a pattern, system that prefers a simple, comforting story over a complicated, uncomfortable truth. And when that happens, Justice doesn't just get delayed, it gets rewritten. So now we're left with a chilling question: if Charlie Kirk was shot from behind, who was standing there? And why has no one been held accountable for the missing evidence, the misidentified wounds, the unanswered questions? This case is far from over, and the truth may be far darker than we think. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you think really happened, and if you want the next major update the moment it drops, hit subscribe, because the more we dig, the more it feels like we're just scratching the surface.